So just give us an overview of your team headed into the season.
Well, we lost more than we've ever lost before last year. We lost 16 starters, 10 on defense, and most of their backups were seniors. So, but this team has grown more this summer than any team I've ever coached before. So we're up to the challenge.
Coach, tell us about some of the new players coming up in the ranks from junior to senior, sophomore to junior, that we may not know about that may be impact players for you this year.
Right. Well, this will be Pate's first year under center at quarterback, and he's been a quarterback his whole life. Last year, he really wanted to get on the field because Larkin was there, and we moved him to Y. And we attach that guy, we flex him, and we line him up at H-back in the backfield also. So that made him a lot tougher player, and it's his time now. So I'm anxious to see how he does on Friday nights when he's under that fire.
What are your expectations and outlook for the season?
I'm just excited to get out there, with all my teammates. I just think take it one game at a time, just focus on the task ahead and, don't get too far ahead and just soak in, all the moments because this is our senior year.
You mentioned losing 10 starters on defense. So is Cameron your only?
Cameron's the only returning starter on defense.
So what's that like, Cameron?
It's kind of tough, but we have to work with it, keep moving forward. Because we have potential to be the best and potentially go where we were last year.
Coach, speak on your kicking game a little bit this year.
Well, we lost our kicker. He moved to corner this year, and so we're kind of starting over with our kicker. We have a young kicker named Nicholas Burchek that'll do our kicking duties. And as of right now, Lynn Irvine will be our punter.
Who's going to be our return guy? Or the return specialist?
Trey's our big play threat on offense, and he was last year also. He accounted for 10 touchdowns, and he had over 700 yards receiving, and he returned 3 punts for touchdowns last year. So he's our big play threat on not only on offense but on special teams.
Question we've been asking all teams all day long is, and this is for the players, social media has really changed a lot. How do you guys do social media, starting down here with you?
It's a platform to expose yourself to all the coaches and recruiters to look at you and evaluate you.
I think it's like a learning tool.
Mm-hmm. You scout a lot of other teams? Mm-hmm. Scout your opponents for that week, see what they're doing?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely, to help brand yourself, but also, you make sure you don't get caught up, too much in the storm of it and, focus on, the important things.
Coach, what are y'all doing to work with you boys on that platform?
Just to be careful what they put out there. But I also like to take a peek at our opponents on there too. We opened the season with Hueytown this year, and I got to see Roy Dale in action at quarterback the other day on social media. So it's a good way to see what your opponents are up to also.
You guys have had these back-to-back 10-win seasons, but you mentioned losing 16 starters. And maybe this is oversimplifying, but do you fall into that, labeling the season that this would be a rebuilding year, or this is another year that we can get 10 wins? Or do you talk about any of those sorts of things with your players?
No, because we've got such a great football culture in Homewood, and we had 2 9-win seasons back-to-back before those 2 10-win seasons. So, you hope that football culture gets you through times like this, but these guys, they're used to winning and being on a winning program. So, it'll help get us through. And their expectations are so high, they don't think anybody can beat us. So that's what that football culture does for you.
You guys are also part of an athletic program that won more state championships than anybody last year. How much carryover do you get? I mean, I realize it seems ridiculous for me to ask if there's carryover from cross country to football, but excellence is excellence. So I'm just wondering, if or what kind of impact that makes.
I totally agree. And look, I look every year at all those state championships Homewood wins, and I want to join the list,
Yeah.
you know. And I think our kids do too, all the players.
You guys have any perspective on that?
I just think the overall attitude of the school is just to expect to win, and I think all sports are held to that standard. So I think it's infectious.
There's a question I have on the flip side of that. With such a winning season, of atmosphere, when complacency comes sometimes into that, how do you battle that with we've won every season, and is it expected, or maybe to the players, do y'all feel pressure expected to go out, or how do you handle that?
Well, I think a big part of that is not wanting to disappoint. You don't want to be that team that only wins 6 games.
You want to do more?
It's something that we shoot for.
I mean, I don't feel any pressure. I think you just try to win every game and just prepare, and whatever happens happens. But I don't think I feel pressure.
Talk about your defense for a second. You mentioned Roydale. Y'all held him, I think, 51 yards last year in that first game, which was something that another team couldn't do the whole season. Tell us about your defense this year.
Well, that was the best defense we've ever had at Homewood last year, and best defensive front for sure. And I feel good with our linebacker core this year right now, and our secondary. We don't have the front that we've had in the past, but it's going to be a chore stopping Roydale that first week.
Yeah, I mean, you got to replace 10 starters. That's a tall task week 1, isn't it?
It is.
What do you think about opening the season outside of the city of Homewood this year? I mean, even when, because the last few years you guys have opened at Sanford, which it's not your stadium, but it's right across the street.
Yeah, it's actually closer than our stadium, so it feels like it's ours. Sometimes I wish we'd have every home game over there, but we are playing at Waldrop this year, and that'll be exciting to get back in our home field.
What's the did you guys use replay at your place last year?
We didn't use replay.
Are you guys going to have it at your home?
No, we haven't. It's just.
What do you think about it?
I can see the good in it, but it's just, having the manpower to run it all and just something else to worry about sometimes, I feel.
Homewood Patriots, we're almost to the end, so I want to ask this question. Homewood Patriot football is an atmosphere that's unlike any other place. I mean, you've got the largest band in the state, probably in the southeast. How do you continue to keep that up every year? I mean, it's a whole different atmosphere going to a Homewood football game than any other game around, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's just such a desirable school system to be in and a community to live in. And so it's just an awesome place.
Ben, you mentioned your defensive front last year, and I know that when the season last year and the season you told me you guys thought it was one of the best ones you guys have had. How do you go about rebuilding that when you lose so many guys? And who are some of those guys up front that or do you feel comfortable talking about them publicly that you feel like you're really going to have to rely on?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. It really is. Not only our numbers are also down. We've got 2 small classes back to back. I told somebody the other day, 3 years ago, we always dressed around 100 players. Last year was the fewest we ever dressed, was 84, and I just have 60 on the roster this year. So I've got 2 small classes coming back to back, and we'll get our numbers back, though, because the middle school, some of those classes are large, so we'll get our numbers back.
Do you look at the season and say, I think we can win X number of games?
No, I don't look at it like that. Our goal always is, we've never missed the postseason since we've been there. So, I mean, we want to get into the playoffs for sure,
For the players, you guys have been there a while. And I know Coach tells you to say it's every game. Well, what's that one team you look forward to playing every year? That one rival.
I know the answer to all these guys are going to say the same thing.
Mine would be Hueytown.
Hueytown?
Oh, no, I'm wrong.
I'll be Stadium.
Which one?
Vestavia.
The stadium?
I'd say Vestavia too. Yeah.
I figured they would all say Vestavia. I think it's the longest running rivalry in the state since 72 or 3, somewhere in there.
Since Vestavia opened.
Yes,
they haven't played every
since
year.
we opened too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. People ask me all the time, Coach, why do you keep playing those guys? I'm like, I'm not going to be the one that breaks that series.
What's the when you're looking at your team, is there a wild card? Is there something where you look and think, hey, if this guy really steps forward, where this group can gel? Is there something like that with your team that you believe will happen this season, but we won't know until it really gets going?
Yeah, I really think we're going to be better offensively than a lot of people think this year. And, you know, kind of the joke around the coach's office is we're going to outscore everyone this year just because how down we are on defense. But I really think our offense is going to shock a lot of people this year. And these two guys are a big part of that. And we've got 3 starters back. You know, out of all the positions, we do have 3 starters back on the O-line. So we feel good about the O-line. We just don't have a lot of depth up there. But don't be surprised. You'll see Cameron over on offense a little bit this year too. But
Trey and Pate, when Coach says, hey, I think we're going to be really good on offense, what do you guys think? How does that make you feel?
I really think it's going to be like, the score to the game is going to be like really high for us. I legit think that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I think we'll have a pretty good offense, and I think it'll be fun.